We know Senior Chief Kelly is the third member to be attacked. 3 perps are dead. Also killed was his wife.
They better hope he doesn't survive.
Why's that?
He is more dangerous and effective than any man we have in the field.
You took everything from me.
These were foreign attacks on U.S. soil.
We have to respond.
I'm gonna make it right. There's something inside of me that I can't turn off. A part of me that won't stop for anything. No remorse.
Has it occurred to you that perhaps John Kelly has done something we can't? Some situations warrant thinking outside the box.
Give me a name.
You were supposed to be dead.
Give me a name.
I'm going to watch 30 movies, a movie each day in June. Day 23 of year 8 of movie month, and the podcast will start soon. He's going to watch 30 movies, some good films and some lowbrow. Year 8 of fans, not experts, movie month, and the podcast starts right now. Year 8 of movie month, that much you already know. Year 8 of movie month, and now it's time for the show.
Early in the morning, I'm still in bed. She comes to me with sweet affection, wakes me with kisses, hello sleepyhead, and gets me moving in the right direction. Come on, I do my best to keep a love that lasts forever. It seems like everything I do, I do it better. I can't hit those notes anymore. Doing it all for my baby. Bring it down so I can do everything. She's as fine as she can be. I'm doing it all for my baby, for everything she does for me. Hello, folks, and welcome to day 23 of Movie Month, where today I watched from Amazon Studios Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. I wanted to see this movie for a while. I was, they're doing a big Tom Clancy movie. Ooh, Michael B. Jordan starring as the title character. It's in the quote-unquote Jack Ryan universe. I don't know if it'll tie into Jack Ryan on the TV show on Amazon, but it seems like Amazon is in the Tom Clancy business. Now, my initial thoughts were like, I was kind of looking forward to see this movie, excited about it. Then I saw reviews were mixed at best. I saw some people write on IMDb like, "Why do they call it Tom Clancy? If they're not going to be like Tom Clancy, why can't they be like Tom Clancy?" I don't give a crap. I don't know Tom Clancy at all. I don't read any of his books. I know that we got the Jack Ryan movies, which I've seen all of maybe 2 of them, which would be the 2 Harrison Ford ones. Never saw the Chris Pine one. I still have not watched the John Krasinski TV show, which I plan on doing because I've heard great things. Nobody saw them. Did anyone see the Ben Affleck one? Maybe they did. And I actually never saw The Hunt for Red October with Alec Baldwin. So many Jack Ryans. And there's even a lot of this guy, John Kelly, who we then later know becomes John Clark at the end. Look, spoilers, dude. John Clark has been a Tom Clancy character in books for a long time. I looked it up. We had Willem Dafoe, we had Liev Schreiber, and then now we have Michael B. Jordan playing him. The first time they have a guy with a normal first name playing him, and Michael B. Jordan, I first knew from Friday Night Lights. Again, Friday Night Lights connection, fantastic actor, most notably known for Creed and for being in Black Panther. He's a very good actor, so I was excited to see a new take on a world that we all know about, this Tom Clancy universe. And the thing is, this movie, these Tom Clancy books, you always figure are what, between 600 and 45,000 pages. They're just dense books. And I feel like Tom Clancy books are still coming out even though he's dead. So I don't know if it's one of these things where I'm writing about Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six or something like this. And really, for the youths of America, Tom Clancy is like the guy who makes the video games. Like, he's the name behind these, like Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon and I don't know. Those are the only 2 I can think of. But there's so many quote unquote Tom Clancy based, branded video games that a lot of people, I think, see that and don't even realize, this is connected to a submarine movie that from 1980s that's also connected to books. So this book, Without Remorse, kicked off, I guess, John Clark, right? His name was John Kelly, and then at the end they gave him a new name. Kicked him off as his own kind of series. It's like he was in some books, and then boom, this was his first singular book. This book is from 1993. It's already almost 30 years old. So you figure they had to update some things, but at the same time, they still kept it with Russia. And Russia is like, in the 80s, you were afraid of Russia bombing things. Now we're afraid of Russia hacking things. There's still a tension with Russia, so it still works. But I got off I got off my track where these books are, really long, dense books with tons of, this is my understanding from what I've heard or read or listened to other podcasts, tons of technobabble and military babble. In other words, like really in-depth, like if you want to know details or have like, this screw was used to tighten the bolt on this rifle, crap like that. I feel like that is what Tom Clancy does, these very densely explained books that also include a story. They gotta do something with that, and yet at the same time, this movie is under 2 hours. You think of like a war movie, Tom Clancy, you think at least 2 hours. This movie's a tick under. It's like 147, 149 or something. I watched it this morning before work, and I think I understand why it was, didn't get great reviews. It was kind of formulaic. It was kind of plain. There was nothing very
special about it. No major twists. I mean, let's be honest. If you see Guy Pearce at the beginning of the movie and he seems like an okay dude, guess what? He's not. It's not going to end well. And the one thing they did was they made Jamie Bell, he's Billy Elliot, football, boxing, wrestling, no fucking ballet. He comes in and he's a dick, but then he turns out he's actually, just a guy keeping things close to the vest, doing his job, but he's not a bad guy. Then you had so Michael B. Jordan's part of this team. Jamie Bell's like the guy controlling it. They go in to try to extract a kidnapped dude. They're in Syria, but it's not the Syrians, it's the Russians that have him. And then they come back. A couple of these guys die. One guy dies there. And they're like, what did we do? We attacked Russians. We weren't supposed to attack Russians, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, these guys get back to their own lives and they start getting picked off. Boom, boom, boom. One dude gets run over. They're pretty brutal looking effect the way they did it. Putting out his garbage or getting his mail. One dude gets shot in his car. Then they come to Michael B. Jordan's house. He's the main character. We get a little bit of his story where we have, he's got a pregnant wife, and they're expecting it's their first child. So what do? They break in and they kill his wife and they try to kill him. There's 4 guys that try to kill him. There's 5 guys or maybe 4 guys. Yeah. One guy dies at the scene. He goes, I'm ready to do my job. He dies at the scene. That didn't make sense at first, but he was like a martyr for his cause. Michael B. Jordan takes the other guys out, but one guy gets away, and he looked a little familiar, and I'll tell you why he looked a little familiar. They try to, who is this 4th Russian? His wife gets killed. He almost dies. He wakes up, and he's like, I must get revenge. So he goes to Guy Pearce. He goes, I need to... how did he figure out who the 4th man was? He went to somebody and got information on how to find who was behind this whole thing. They were like, they told him who was behind it, but you can't do anything about it. It's over. He's like, no, I need to find who this 4th man was who got away. So he does some cool stuff where he chases down the bad guy in a pickup truck. Some Russian guy, and he ordered the whole thing, but he goes, who's the 4th man? And he's like, you tell me. And the guy tells him. So then he kills him right there. Bing, bang, boom. Now he's going searching for the 4th man. He brings it to the CIA, brings it to Guy Pearce. He goes, listen, this is the 4th man. We need to go find him. I'm your best man for the job. So you got him. You got one of his soldiers who actually is a superior. There's this woman. I want to say her name is Julie something Smith or Jolie something Smith or Janie something Smith. I don't recognize the actress. I looked her up. She's married to Josh Jackson from Dawson's Creek and from the movie with not the TV, the TV show that was really good, that I really liked, that I almost called the X-Files, that is not the X-Files. Fringe. I paused it and thought. I didn't look it up. I paused it. Fringe. So I know him mostly from that. He's been in a bunch of stuff. I think he was in The Affair, all these things. So that's her husband. Nothing to do with anything except trying to place who this actress is. Again, I don't know her. But she's the superior. She's okay. She's British, doing an English accent, but I think so is Guy Pearce and so is Jamie Bell. They're okay. She's the superior. She's like, you shouldn't be. I recommend you don't come with us. But Guy Pearce is like, I recommend he does come with us. Now maybe he wants him to get killed off because remember, Guy Pearce shows up. He's a good guy. He's obviously going to end up being a bad guy. It's just the formula. So they go off to find the 4th man in Russia. They get there, and it's friggin' Brent Gelman. Now he's a Russian who then grew up in the United States, but then he was like a Russian nationalist or something. Turns out he works for the CIA, and this whole thing was to start a war. And he buys into the cause. He tries to blow them all up. He blows himself up. If you don't know who Brent Gelman is, if you watch Stranger Things, he's the conspiracy guy. He's like known for more, to me, he's mostly known for comedic acting. Like he was in a sitcom with Matt LeBlanc. He's been in a bunch of little things. He's got one of those faces where you probably have seen him in something, you just may not know his name. Most famously right now for Stranger Things. And he blows himself up. I think a couple of them get out. They all get out. But so he's dead, and they realize that this whole thing was set up and there's nothing we could do about it. It looks like it looks like the CIA is behind it and this woman in the CIA, but it's really Guy Pearce who's behind it. So then at the end, Jamie Bell's like, there's a bag of cash in there. You just have to be dead. You didn't make it out alive. So because he went to jail for killing the Russian guy, they let him leave to do this job, and then you're going back to be a felon. So he's like, I just go back to being a felon. He's going back to prison. He has nothing to live for. He doesn't have anything. He's without remorse. There's nothing for him to worry about. So Jamie Bell's like, all right, now ballet. Let's do the ballet, and then some T-Rex plays. Okay, I love Billy Elliot. Anyway, he ends up, leaving. Like, he's like, I'm going to leave. But then before he gets there, he takes Guy Pearce and kidnaps him and forces him to tell the truth. And he gets it all on tape, drives the car off the boat, and drives the car off a bridge into the water. It sinks down. Apparently this was planned because they got him out, and he got it all on tape. And then he disappears. A year later, he comes back. Jamie Bell's the director, and he's sitting there with glasses, meaning he's more mature and more he's like, I'm serious now, and he doesn't need to hide anymore. Like, they gave him a new life. They called him John Clark. He leaves. Maybe they are killing off John Kelly, and John Clark is now available. So now the Russians even think he's dead, I guess. So now he's like, I want to put a team together. Oh, and he was under the water. He saw like the reflection of the water, and there's a rainbow, and he had a vision of his wife. And then he goes, I want to put together a team of different, from different nations, and I want to call it the Rainbow Team. And I was like, oh, there's your Tom Clancy Rainbow Six. So it's probably going to be 6 people on the team, Rainbow. And now we have a possible sequel. I think I read that Rainbow Six is in development. This seems like it could become a franchise for Amazon. And look, these services want franchises. They want reasons for you to watch. I mean, I always talk about, I always hear on CNET, Amazon just wants you to buy batteries and buy toilet paper. You buy that stuff, you get this stuff for free. If this gets you to purchase, to keep your Amazon Prime a membership, great. But at the same time, they bought MGM. So Amazon's looking for their universe. And if they make it around Tom Clancy stuff, if they somehow make Rainbow Six and then somehow bring Jack Ryan into this, I got to watch this Jack Ryan show. Then I'm really kind of into this. Now, the director, I thought I didn't know. He's an Italian fella, but I did watch him last year. He directed Sicario. He directed the second Sicario. And the writer of this is one of the writers on this who wrote part of the screenplay. Look who it was. Taylor Sheridan, again, from the original Sicario and from what the hell, the Wind movie, the friggin', he does a lot of good movies, and I've watched them all. Hell and High Water, the one with Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch there, but they weren't superheroes. Chris, you know the one I'm talking about. And so I was like, oh, and then that reminded me, there's another Taylor Sheridan movie out there for me to watch, because I was making my list for the last few days. I'm like, I knew there's some on there that I haven't touched on yet. So we're not done with him this month yet. But, yeah, I think I've kind of covered it. It had all the tropes in the formula, like, oh, he's gonna pay for this, my wife. And of course the daughter, the baby daughter that was killed, that was sad. And I tell you, when I decided, started singing that song, and I picked the song for the beginning, it was more like, they killed my wife, I'm doing this all for my baby. And I wasn't thinking about the actual baby, so please don't make that connection. I thought about that after. I said, wait a second. No. But it's still, I love that song. So who cares? Huey Lewis has nothing to do with this, but I'm putting him in. But yeah, it had all the tropes of all right, guys, let's get, let's get down. Oh no, there's a firefight. And, there was nothing unique, nothing that stood out, nothing that made this like, oh, you got to see this because of this. Michael B. Jordan's performance was fine. He wasn't amazing, and it wasn't laughable. It was just, he's a good actor and he did a good job. I feel like pretty much everyone was all right. Nobody stood out like, whoa, that is a great performance. But no one was like, whoa, that's a terrible performance, really. The main actress, was a little stiff, a little wooden. I don't know. Maybe it's the translation thing, the accent thing. I don't know. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I thought it the first time she said something, and it just kind of, all of a sudden it was in my head. But it wasn't like I thought, wait, is she good? Maybe she's good. I can't tell. Is she bad? I can't tell. it wasn't distracting, and except the fact that I was thinking about it was distracted. That's myself. The direction was fine. There was a cool plane crash. I thought that was kind of the coolest effect, the way they showed the plane crash. You kind of see the water coming. That was a little stressful. The way the plane kind of turned over, but he stayed behind and to get some equipment out. I just thought that was one of the coolest parts, one of the most well done parts of the movie. And that's it. That's Without Remorse. I'm sorry, Tom Clancy's Without Remorse, which I'm sure if you're a Tom Clancy fan, you're probably upset about, or you're not, you're picky about things. It's like, literally, it's like a comic book nerd going, well, Superman would never kill. How could he break Zod's neck? I wasn't like that. I'm just like, oh, look, he broke his neck. Cool. And he has killed before. Now, again, this is not a Superman podcast, but I'm rambling. I think that's it. I think I'm done. I'm not a Tom Clancy reader. I'm not a Tom Clancy fan. I'm not an anti-Tom Clancy guy because this movie was okay. It was just okay. But I don't know enough to be like, oh, why would they do this? How do they even put Tom Clancy's name on this? Because it's called money, people. Money. And this is franchise building. So you will see more. You'll see Michael B. Jordan back. I would almost guarantee it. And I wouldn't be surprised if somehow John Krasinski sneaks in there. I wouldn't be surprised. But I would be done because I am done. This is my lunch break. I watched it this morning, talk about it on my lunch break, and now I can put it up later on the website. But that's it, my friends. I think I'm done here. We did it. Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. If you have Amazon Prime, it's there, available for you to watch free right now. Under 2 hours. Nothing complicated. Nothing that invested. You'd be like, whoa, wait, what's going on here? It was pretty straightforward. They're they basically want to start a war because war is good business. And we need an enemy to get America to be cheering everyone together. There you go. That's the movie. Without Remorse is without anything amazing, without anything original, but it was serviceable. It did it was okay. And I'm sure they do Rainbow Six. I'll be watching that too. But I'm done talking about this. I just want to remind you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Geek Mentality. My dog is just staring at me. She's sitting on the bed and she's staring at me because I'm pacing around the room. You can find me on Facebook, Fans Not Experts, and the website is fansnotexperts.com. Now I'm going to actually eat my real lunch that I used half of just to talk to you guys. And that's it. Movie month, day number 23 is in the books. We are excited because this is it's Wednesday. Next week at this time is the final day of movie month. Can you believe it? We got 24, 25, 26, 27, then 28, 29, 30. That's how math works. I just did it all in my head to make sure I was right. Next Wednesday, a week from today, is the final day of movie month. It's shocking. It's crazy. Another movie month in the books. But we're not there yet. We still have a week to go. And until that time, I hope to hear you. I'll never hear you. I'd love to hear from you, but I never do. I hope to see you. I don't see you either. I hope you fucking listen, all right? Every day for the next week, all right? Until then, thank you so much, my friends. Do you have anything to say, Beagle? No? Little lady? Okay. Here is my theme song.
This is my podcast, I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe. Cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans Not Experts.